Hi, welcome to Burning Waters of the Moon Tarot. My name is Desiree. This is a tarot reading for everyone. So I'll be using 3 decks today, and I'm going to draw an oracle card at the end to see if there is some extra knowledge that can be imparted using the Jade Oracle right here. Just going to do a quick smudge to clear the energies of the deck. I've already smudged myself in the space in the interest of time. This is the Folklore Tarot by Rowan Ortons, and I have flip-throughs of all 3 decks listed below if you're interested in seeing the artwork of all of these beautiful decks. And this is the Phantom Tarot by Lamucci. I already got a nice little ember going here. So, all right, nice and smudged. So this reading, like I said, is for everyone, and hopefully you'll find a little nugget of inspiration or something to ignite a thought process, maybe an action. Tarot is a wonderful thing in that it helps us look at things in ways that we normally wouldn't. We've got 78 cards that are coming out at random, and whether you or I believe that they were divinely guided in that specific order and divinely read by the reader is entirely up to you. There's many ways to looking at it. There's many interpretations to the way the cards are read and to the way the cards are read together. And there's many different interpretations of the cards themselves. So I use different schools of thought. I use numerology. I use Rider-Waite-Smith, which is based in the Golden Dawn. I use things written and said by Pappas and just various different books. And not only that, I'm an intuitive reader, so I look how the numbers, the colors, the scenes, how they all work together. So whether or not you feel this reading resonates with you, it's okay. Perhaps there might be a single card in there that will help inspire you, or perhaps maybe someone else can use this reading. So if so, please share. And with that being said, we will go ahead and get started with this general reading for everyone. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Cups, Fire of Water. Then we've got the King of Wands, Air of Fire. Awesome. And then this is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, all right, so we've got 2 court cards here. And let's see. And then we've got a water card in reverse. Now, court cards are a combination of 2 elements. And so they bring together 2 elements. And so they're a bit more complicated, I guess you could say, than the numerals. However, sometimes they can represent people. They can represent energies and situations. And so what I see here, I feel like there are 2 opposing energies here, though they're slightly related. We've got a Fire of Water, and then we've got Air of Water, okay? And the Knight of Cups is a card where he thinks he acts in accordance to the way he feels, right? So he's very emotive, very loving. And then right next to this King of Wands, who is very focused, very driven, you know, he's Air of Water. And so with Air is very cerebral. They really think about things. And then Wands is fire, very passionate. And so his approach to things is it's well thought out, but he puts his entire being into what he wants to do. Whereas the Knight of Cups, the way his actions are pretty much pretty much deemed by the way he's feeling, okay, by his emotions. And he can be very loving at times, but the flip side of that, he can be very he could also be deceiving. So what I see here is that there is a conflict of energies. And with this Eight of Cups here, it's kind of putting a light on this situation of needing to release this, of needing to walk away, of not needing to be in this conflicting energies right now. Air and water don't really mix. Fire and water, yes. Fire helps water. I'm sorry, fire and air. Air helps fire grow, right? And so the conflicting energies I see here is just kind of putting a damper on the way things are. So we're going to dive deeper into this message because I know that's pretty vague. And it's pretty vague to me as well. So, but I do feel like there's two competing energies that are just they're not meshing well. And so it's kind of creating a situation of needing to walk away. It's like it's a little tired, you know, a little tiresome and like a fed up type of energy. So let us see exactly. All right. So this folklore tarot. Oh, you know what? I should switch the view for you guys so y'all can see a little bit better your spread. My keyboard. I might have to use my mouse to do this. I don't know what is wrong with my keyboard. There it goes. Yeah. 10 seconds later. Okay, so here are our energies. And so you can see how these two are facing away from each other. And then we've got this Nine of Cups here in reverse. And that's the feeling of the fed upness of just totally tired of having to deal with these two opposites and not being able to kind of get along, really. So I'm going to do one more shuffle, and I'm going to pull this 3 cards for this Knight of Cups here. So we've got Two of Cups, water energy. Then we've got Death, Major Arcana in reverse, and then Judgment, Major Arcana in reverse. All right, so these 2 cards are letting us know that something's got to change, obviously. There's a needing to see the other side here. There is instead of so much acting on the impulsivity of how we're feeling, we need to take a step back and really understand what's going on, really see what's being put into this situation. And that's really not being done here. And I can see how one would really get fed up with this type of energy here. And that's really is what needs to change. We need to stop being so impulsive with the way that we're acting. We need to stop, shooting off the cuff and sort of take a step back and look at things from a bird's eye view type of situation, and understand both sides. There's 2 energies that are being put into this situation, not just yours. Okay. And it's really easy to be able to just go off of how you're feeling, because you know how you're feeling. But the thing is we need to take stock. We need to understand the entire situation, which means understanding the other person's point of view, the other person's side, the other person's emotions, and really getting there to a place where there can be some understanding and compromise. So let's see what's going on with this King of Wands here. All right. Right, King of Wands. So we've got the Chariot in reverse, Major Arcana, Temperance, and 6 of Wands in reverse. So 2 more Major Arcana here. So the Chariot and the Temperance. Chariot being in reverse here is also begging us to slow down this King of Wands energy, this very fiery, kind of really direct energy that's being put off by this King of Wands. And that too is calling for sort of like an equilibrium, an understanding of what's going on, a understanding of both sides. We have this angel here who is both on earth and having a toe in water. And that's indicative of of walking between two realms, understanding both sides. The chariot too has two opposing forces as well, and with what's going on here, I feel like this energy, this King of Wands energy, is just really going forth and not understanding two sides here. And so that is creating a situation in which it's very disharmonious. And honestly, I don't think either one of these two energies really want to be like this. I think that they do want to get to a point where there is an equilibrium and an equal understanding of one another. And so let's get a read on this Eight of Cups. So we've got Seven of Cups, Four of Pentacles in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse. So Seven of Cups, there is Four of Pentacles. So I do feel like this situation that's being created by these two opposing energies, by these two conflicting energies, it's really something that has no real basis in anything. It's kind of these two energies just not wanting to budge, these two energies just not wanting to see the other side, and they're just going head to head, and they're just like two rams just running into each other. Neither one of them are going anywhere, but yet they're still just ramming and ramming. And so what needs to happen is there needs to be movement on one of the sides at least, so that they're no longer ramming into each other. Okay, there needs to be an understanding. There needs to be some sort of an eye-opening experience. And I mean, that could be many things, and we definitely don't want it to be a situation where one of these two walks away, because I do feel like this is a relationship with lots of emotion in it, lots of feeling, and lots of dedication to one another. However, with these the not wanting to give in to the other side, something's really got to give. Something it really needs to change, and the lack of wanting to change on both sides it's really not going to get either one of these energies anywhere. And there's and like, you have to think to yourself, do you want to stay in this energy of just hitting and fighting, or do you want to be released of it and maybe, explore? How about you guys get on the same side and y'all start just running together, running through the meadow, I don't know, instead of running at each other. And that's just going to take some patience and understanding. That's really going to take usage of the energy of the Judgment card, of being able to kind of look at the situation and decide if it's in tune with your morals, if it's in tune with the way you want your life to head, if it's in tune with the overall direction of your feelings. It can't be good to always be in conflict with one another. It can't be, I mean, it just can't feel good to just always be in conflict. There's got to be some kind of compromise here. Compromise. One day you guys go get Chinese food, tomorrow go get Mexican food. You don't really need, I know I'm oversimplifying it. But the thing is there's got to be some sort of discussion. There's got to be a logical, understanding discussion, in that you guys can't just be spewing at one another. The Knight of Cups spewing the water, the King of Wands spewing the fire, because neither one of them are going to work. water puts out fire, and then fire evaporates water. So it's just like, you guys are going to put each other out. How about, coming together and maybe creating a boiling situation, and you guys can boil some potatoes for like mashed potatoes. um, okay, this is getting a little silly here, but you see where I'm going with this. There's got to be a meeting of the minds, a meeting on equal ground, and discussion. And it can't be a discussion of, well, you do this, and so and it's all your fault. It's got to be like, okay, I hear you. I understand that I do that. Check out the mirroring technique. And it's kind of weird at first, but it allows your partner, the person you're talking to know and know that you're understanding, and then they feel understood. And it's awkward, but it does work. And sometimes, usually, we just want to be heard. We just want to be heard, and both parties obviously care about one another. And hearing somebody say, "You're hurting me," that hurts my feelings, or that brings up a trauma, or that triggers me. Just hearing that in a nice setting, instead of coming at it in an accusatory manner, everything you say but traumatizes me, sitting down in a nice, calm manner and saying, it hurts my feelings, or the message I get about myself when you do X is Y, and that's an eye-opening experience for the person who is offending. Perhaps, they had no idea that that was triggering, and that gives them the opportunity to change, or not, but at least make your feelings known and understand the other person's feelings. So check out mirroring and see if that can kind of help. Because this constant ramming, it's not sustainable. I mean, somebody's horn's going to break off, and someone's brain's going to get stabbed. It's not going to be a good situation. So me and my analogies. That's so funny. Oh. Okay, so we're going to draw an oracle card, and we're going to use the Jade Oracle. This is an Aztec deities deck, so they have a lot of the theos that the Aztecs revered, and also other spirits, such as the spirit of the corn, cacao. They really love the cacao plant, and various different plants. So how did I do that? I just saw Tochli, which is the rabbit, and the rabbit actually lives in the moon in the Aztec, one of the Aztec myths. I can't exactly remember how the rabbit gets there. I don't know. I'll have to look into that, because I don't think I've ever really understood that. There used to be an artist when I was younger called Rabbit in the Moon, and he produced dance music. I think it was two, actually. And that was the first time I heard of the Rabbit in the Moon. And then many, many years later, when I discovered my ancestry, I was like, oh, Rabbit in the Moon. It was cool. Okay, so this is Zolot, and it's the twin, El Gemelo. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, gemelo, in Spanish. So here's the Nahuatl word. This is English, and this is Spanish. And so I'm going to read the English portion of the XYZ. Okay, so Zolot was the Nawali, or twin of Quetzalcoatl, and accompanying him to the underworld, where he went to retrieve the bones to create mankind. Zolot wears a conch shell on his chest, symbolizing his connection to Quetzalcoatl. Zolot is represented as a dog, the native ancient Mexican dog, a breed known as Xolotzichtli, was hairless, and we find evidence of it more than 35,000 years ago. Dogs are clearly associated with the underworld. After death, dogs serve as guides for their masters. Their help was crucial for ancient Mexicans when, 4 years after death, the deceased crossed the river of Chicanahuapam, and the dogs would swim across the river with their masters guiding their way. When Xolotl appears, he is here to help you find your way in the darkness. If you are not sure which way to go, trust that Xolotl is here by your side and will guide you. He reminds you that the journey through the darkness is a necessary step to reach the light. When you are facing difficult personal challenges, remember that you have help. All right. So, and facing these emotional challenges and these ways of constant conflict, I mean, that could be some shadow work, some shadow understanding in of itself, especially if we've grown up with lots of tumultuous relationships in our lives. That's just where we feel comfort. That's where we, oddly enough, feel that we're loved, is within conflict. It is unfortunate, and it's hard for other people to understand who haven't really been in situations like that. But it's real, and just to find comfort in something that you've known your entire life, it makes sense, right? So just know that it might be a little difficult, especially when working that mirroring exercise. That's pretty difficult in and of itself. I think culturally we're just not really adept in understanding and listening, and so the mirroring technique is will be difficult for most people, I would think. So I know I felt like an idiot doing it. But it helps, I promise. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate your time. And please remember to like and to subscribe if you haven't. Share the video if you know of anybody who can use this, and leave a comment if you desire. So have a nice day, and I will see you next reading. Take care. I'm just going to click out of here because my keyboard's not working.